Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Here we are at the end of another week, or almost at the end of another week, with the US president hitting, I think, new lows, referring him to himself as the chosen one and the King of Israel, and doing God's work in taking on China. Of course, we know the background to this. Honestly, what a wacko. Seriously, what a wacko. And if anyone's watching this who is a Trump fan, you know, you really should be quite ashamed of yourself, because it's quite clear that this person is not fit to be the President of the United States. So, 25th Amendment now is trending, or was trending on Twitter. You know, we've had sections of the Republican Party come out and urge their colleagues to act. My intuition is that the Republicans won't act and enact the 25th Amendment. Not yet. It would take something fairly bizarre. We know that Trump's health is compromised. His mental health is compromised. We know that because of the words and the phrases that he uses, the way that he behaves, what he says and what he does. So, the chosen one, King of Israel, the chosen one and King of Israel. How did that go down generally? That's where we'll start, and then we'll look at, you know, whether or not the Republicans, Vice President, cabinet members, etc., the hierarchy of the Republican Party are anywhere near contemplating the 25th Amendment. Okay, so what do we need to know? Okay, the US President's referral of himself as the chosen one, the King of Israel. How did that generally go down in the US and across the world? What sort of reaction has there been? What are people thinking of this kind of referring to himself as godlike? How did this go down? What has been the reaction to this referral as godlike, the chosen one, King of Israel? Good God, I can't even believe I'm actually reading on this. But anyway, let's see what these cards have to say. I'm using the 78 Mythical Tarot, Tarot of the Legendary for this reading. I'll bring the laptop down and we'll have a look. Okay, the chosen one. Okay, straight up we have the Lovers card coming out, forward really more and more for Donald Trump. And the reason that I think it is coming forward is because he is descending into this narcissism, his megalomania, the need to be loved, the need to be worshipped, is really evident in his choice of phrases, referring to himself as a god. And this is what it's all about. The further and further away from the electorate Donald Trump gets with his bizarreness, his craziness, his racism, the more and more he needs to be worshipped. And this is what this card is actually saying. It's actually quite obvious that he is mentally unfit. The challenge here is that this is a completion cycle, as you know, with the number 10 here. This is the 10 of Wands. It's always going to be a challenge for Donald Trump to be loved because of the way that he acts. Now, I don't know how someone gets to his age and is it just lacks that inner knowledge, lacks that awareness, and I guess this is what we have when you describe somebody as a malignant narcissist. He just can't. He can't see what he's doing, and so he is carrying a heavy load. Now, the Republicans aren't unprepared or aren't prepared to come forward and act. What happens when someone's carrying this kind of heavy load? Do they break down? It's certainly a possibility. The Three of Swords are loss, heartbreak. Okay, so this is really the emotional mood of this president at the moment. And it's also the emotional mood of the voters and also across the world. You know, this card came up. I just want to make a point here. When I did the reading around, all of my readings, the Three of Swords is coming up more and more, and I described that we could have a loss here. It may well be someone. It may well be Trump, but I'm not feeling that imminently. Certainly not today. But what I am feeling is the absolute heartbreak over the fires in the Amazon. That in Brazil there was a mini Trump elected, and he allowed miners and farmers, ranchers, loggers back into agriculture, back into the Amazon forest that had been previously locked up. Now the wildfires are 83% more than they were last year. So he's now sounding deranged like Trump and blaming NGOs, non-government organisations, because they had their funding reduced. They've gone in and set fire to the Amazon forest. You know, it is quite desperate, given that the Amazon forests, they give us, the Earth, 20% of our oxygen needs, not to mention the impacts on climate change. This is why this Three of Swords is coming up everywhere. Really, the time to act is now. Let's see what the universe has got in store for these, you know, obvious idiots. Okay, in the past we've got the Ten of Pentacles. This is interesting, an interesting card, because this, of course, is my card for the Trump organisation. But I think it means something more than that in this reading. How's it all gone down? Well, you know, there was a time when this dynastic wealth, wielded power, still do wield power. Trump is still in the in that frame, that New York apprentice, big real estate, big ego mind frame. But that's in the past, okay? It's not translating. It's not translating to being loved as the President of the United States. So this kind of armour that the Ten of Pentacles gave Trump is no longer there. It's not working in this situation. What's in the sky? Okay, look, we have this anxiety and worry. How did it go down? This is what people are feeling. I had a viewer comment this morning, when will he go? When will he go? I've had enough. I've had enough. We've all had enough. This is us at the moment. We've all had enough. But unfortunately, he is there was Russian interference in your election, but he was nevertheless elected. If Russia started changing votes, that's yet to come out. It's up to the people to remove this person. But this is Trump as well. Why is he saying these sorts of things? He knows he's hated, and this is his ego, his narcissism. It just cannot handle. He's in a psychological crisis at this point in time. Okay, in the immediate future, the Knight of Cups. This is interesting. This is offers. This is almost like a seduction. So there will be things at the policy level that he'll be doing to try and win voters back. So you can look for that. I guess there was one about waiving veterans HEX, that's Australian, waiving veterans college fees. So these sorts of things are going to come forward more and more as he attempts to woo. It's a wooing of the public. Okay, the Nine of Cups, the smug merchant. This is also wish fulfillment. But this is Aladdin in his cave. And of course, is Aladdin using the wishes wisely? Is Trump using his power wisely? Let's see what's challenging that. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so this is standing on one's own feet. This is self-reliance. This is having enough money to do what you want. Okay, so we've got these cards currently. This is where he's at. Why did he use those phrases? He's still here in the background, in the past. He is still the smug merchant. He is still thinking he's way above the fray. This is an emboldened narcissist that we're dealing with here. However, the potential is this. So this tells me, because this is in the sky, that there could be some further decline, going even lower than what we've seen here today or this week. Let's have a look at what is in the hopes and fears. Of course, this is what everybody worries about. It is the abuse of power. But this is an abuse of power in order to regain control, because I feel that he sees or feels control slipping away. What's the outcome? The King of Swords. The investigations are going to, well, what's been the reaction? People want those investigations ramped up. They want him removed by lawmakers as quickly as possible. The Queen of Pentacles, they want stability. The economy is on everybody's minds. Everybody understands that if you had a CEO that is acting like Donald Trump, the board would actually remove him from that company. People want stability. They're worried. And we've got the High Priestess. This is interesting. I'm going to get to the 25th Amendment now. I do think that Republicans, the hierarchy, are understanding in the back of their mind, in their subconscious, that things have to change, but they're holding on to their secrets with this High Priestess card, and that's stopping them from acting. But I will ask if they're considering the 25th Amendment. Base of the pack energies, we've got the eight of wands here, this fire energy. I do feel that people are going to really ramp up their calls for the 25th Amendment. He will keep doing and saying this. This looks as though he's going to keep going lower and lower because he's just not... the challenge is the 10 of Wands for Donald Trump. But he hasn't recognised that yet. He's still in this Lovers, this 10 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. He's still in that moneyed, energy that he thinks he can do whatever he wants. Okay, but subconsciously, we've got the 9 of Swords here. Okay, base of the pack energies. We've got the 8 of Wands. There's going to be an increasing call for him to step down here. And we've got, this is a Sagittarian energy as well. Again, December is coming into the time frame. We've got the Devil here, unfortunately. I want to just have a look at the Devil card for a minute. The Devil card is when you are in the grip of something. You cannot shake yourself free. No matter what you do, you cannot shake yourself free. It can be obsessional thinking. It can be chained to an addiction. It can be chained to a power, megalomania, ego gratification, money. It can also be chained to some other master. This is a situation that you cannot escape from, and this keeps coming up for Donald Trump, but also for the US and the world. At this point in time, we are chained to the Devil. I am getting a draw to, part of the Devil coming up is you need to work your way through to a solution somehow. So we've got the 8 of Wands and the Devil card, and the other energy I want to pick up on is the 7 of Pentacles. Again, this is someone who is not going to get what they want, so they have to go back to the drawing board. Those energies at the base of the pack will influence my next question, which is, are the Republicans? I've read on this before at the time that I read. Also want to make a point about tarot and timeline, spirit, the divinity that resides in us all, that I rely on to I guess nurture my intuition, doesn't have a earthly calendar that says, you know, on this date, on this month. What we do here is we predict with the benefit of intuition, where we are attempting to see round corners. It's not an exact science. People want predictions, and I do give predictions. And, you know, I'm happy to say some of the time I'm right, but not all the time. So bearing that in mind, the 25th, we can take a look in. We can take a look into situations. We can be on the perimeter, and we can look in, and we can give you our best intuition. Okay, 25th Amendment. I feel that it's in the back of their mind with that High Priestess, but they're not ready to come forward with it yet. I honestly don't think that would be, well, let's just wait for the reading. 25th Amendment. Are the Republicans, the Vice President, Cabinet members, are they Republican elites? Are they thinking about the 25th Amendment? Are the Republicans thinking about the 25th Amendment? Are the Republicans thinking about the 25th Amendment? Are the Republicans, Vice President, Cabinet members, Republican elite, are they thinking about the 25th Amendment and removing Donald Trump from office? Okay, so straight up we've got the devil, and as you know from my last pool, this is what we're chained to, including the Republicans. They're chained to the devil. Okay, the challenge here is what they see. The challenge is the truth. Okay, so that's an interesting combination. They are chained to the devil. They're also chained to their donors. They're also chained to foreign money. As we know, Russia funneled money through the NRA to the Republicans. They're chained. They're chained to the devil, and they're taking us along with them. However, the challenge here is the truth coming out. Is the actual behaviour of Donald Trump is actually rattling those chains. Okay, the chosen one, the King of Israel, doing God's work, etc. The economy looming large, 2020 election looming large. This is a process. This is a process, again, as I said in my last reading, of bringing things back into balance. The foundation of the reading, unfortunately, is the Knight of Cups. This is this seduction. So they know things are bad. They know things are bad, and they're going to come forth trying to make up for the damage that Donald Trump is causing. So this will be in giveaways, not just to the elite. They're going to be doing those feel-good things as an attempt to deflect away from what Trump is doing. On the other hand, this can also be an offer of something. So let's see where this reading is going to take us. The Five of Wands, they are absolutely arguing amongst themselves with this Five of Wands. It's obstacles, challenges, and it's backroom arguing, back and forth. What, should we do this? Should we do that? Okay, so this is telling us in the background, in the past, this actually has been raised. It's been raised by the Republicans, but they're chained to that devil. Okay, what have we got? 10 of Swords. Okay, this is what's in the sky for the Republicans. It is downfall, destruction, lowest ebb. And I have to say, this card, you need to examine. When this card comes forward for you, it's the end of a cycle with this 10. You need to examine what is actually destroying you. Who is putting these swords in your back? Who is causing your downfall? There is a massive reflection in store for the Republicans in the future. Could this be the Republicans putting the sword into Donald Trump's back in the future? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Okay. Immediate future, though, control, staying in control is always paramount. This is Trump coming riding through also with his autocracy. So every time he feels there's disloyalty, he'll come out swinging. Okay, he's going to do that. He's going to do that again. He's going to do something that attempts to give him the upper hand. Currently, though, the Two of Pentacles juggling would they enact the 25th Amendment? They're not at this point. Not at this point that I can see. They're still juggling. They're still chained to him. He's still ruling the roost, shall we say? However, the potential of this Ten of Swords is there. The potential for in the future. We've got the Two of Pentacles juggling. Okay. And look, honestly, I have to say at a deeper level, we're not just here to predict events. We're here to promote insights as well. The Two of Pentacles very much, it's a worn kind of pentacle there in the shape of an infinity symbol. Until the Republicans realise how they got themselves into this situation, until they do that, there's not going to be progress for them. They're going to be juggling. Let's see what is in the environment. Interesting. Things coming forward quite quickly. Okay, that's interesting. I still come back to the investigations. That something will finally appear which which really proves beyond all reasonable doubt that Donald Trump has feathered his nest, etc. Allegedly, it's around the money. I feel, again, we've got this Eight of Wands here coming forward a second time to really show that there's going to be the calls for him to step down, to resign, is just going to increase, and there will be something around December, January that's likely to come out that really has a bearing on this situation. But we're dealing with the 25th Amendment, the hopes and the fears. This is Trump's, this is a fear, and this is an energy out of control. This is something that they can't control. They're unable to control it. They've almost let the monster loose. They've let the monster loose, and the person riding the monster cannot control it. Okay. The outcome cards, strength and endurance. Okay, the Republicans, I feel, I haven't looked at the clarifying cards, they're going to hold the line until they absolutely can't anymore. Okay, the Seven of Wands, defending oneself. They're not going to come over to the side of sanity just yet. They're just going to defend this president. The Queen of Swords, though, this is discernment and objectivity, and this is the growing calls here from Republicans themselves to face the obvious, to be objective, to discern the truth that this person is not, allegedly, my intuition, my readings, fit for office. And they'll come forward quite powerfully too, because, it's not just the Republicans, it's everyone. There is an all-seeing aspect to this card, and it's a much more powerful energy than this Seven of Wands, this mere attempting to defend oneself. The bull, or whatever it is, the buffalo bull. You can see the people with pitchforks demanding the end to this beast, and you've got this card as well. So I do feel that the calls will grow and grow and grow. But right at the moment, they're standing alongside this president, despite his obvious insanity. The Two of Swords at the base of the pack, crossroads energy. Okay, this is someone who's blindfolded, can't see where they're going. They know they have to make a decision. They just haven't made that yet. So that's really backing up my outcome cards. Temperance, bringing things back into balance, December. Again, the Temperance card is coming all the time in these readings, showing me that there is a naked awareness that this president is unbalanced. And we've got the Three of Swords are coming together eventually, are coming together, really support. Again, this could be the Republicans running defence for this president, but I do feel it's coming together eventually with the many, with the Democrats, and with the obvious need that this president can no longer be allowed to continue. But I do feel it's going to take something major beyond just calling himself the chosen one and the King of Israel. It's going to take a bombshell. Now, we've got all these investigations ongoing, and I've read multiple times on that as well. They certainly are thinking about the 25th Amendment, but they are chained. They are chained to this devil. And it's an awful feeling when you're in that position. To be fair to those Republicans who are just party people, I'm not making any excuses for them. It's not black and white. It's not black and white. They are chained to the devil in the same way that voters and the world are currently chained. But those chains are loosening. They're being rattled right now. Okay, so what's it going to take? What's it going to take? 3 cards. What's it going to take to get rid of this devil? What's it going to take to get rid of this devil? The Republicans going to find their courage. What's it going to take? What's it going to take? We're talking politics, remember? We're talking politics, and politics is often an unethical game. Okay, so the Queen of Swords. It will be this all-seeing, beyond doubt, discernment, objective. This can't continue. So there's going to be something that will come out. I feel this is swords to me can often represent legal processes. Queen of Swords can often represent lawyers. So it is going to be something that will come through the investigations. And we have the Death card here. Finally, an ending coming down and moving through the ending of that cycle. And we've got the Two of Pentacles still with this juggling. And, this is also the lessons that need to be learned. If the lessons aren't learned, we get this, we could get a repeat of this situation. So it's really important, I feel, for the right choices to be made and for the truth with this King of Swords to be absolutely focused on, absolutely acknowledged. So, the chosen one, the King of Israel, it's all about, worship, and those that are wanting to get the president to bring forward their agenda. One of the best strategies for them is to fawn at his feet, because that is what he's currently operating on. That's his operational manual. How much do they love me? How much do they worship me? How much are they stroking my ego? This is a malignant narcissist. I feel that is showing up at the moment with those sorts of comments. All right, I'll leave that there, and then I'll come back with a reading on the G7 this weekend, being hosted by France, and of course Trump is doing Putin's bidding again, calling for Russia to be welcome back into the fold, for the G7 to become a G8 again. So hang on to your hats, because this is how he's going into this meeting this weekend. I'll be back shortly. Thank you.